The door slams. The shouting stops. What remains is a heavy silence and the realization of what just happened. We tend to view our temper as a force of nature, a display of dominance. But if we look at the wreckage left behind, we have to ask if that rage ever actually provided the strength we intended. The aggression follows a predictable pattern, suggesting that the outward hostility is actually a response to a perceived threat from within. To understand how a disagreement escalates into a destructive event, we have to look past the visible flames and examine the psychological fuel burning underneath. The insecure mind faces a dilemma during a conflict. Admitting to being hurt or small feels like a total collapse of the ego. Because admitting to a wound is deemed unbearable, the mind weaponizes a raw feeling of inadequacy into outward aggression. This diagram illustrates the mechanism. The sequence begins with an existing insecurity, dormant until a trigger, like a perceived slight, sparks a reaction, producing an outburst. As adrenaline fades, this high leads directly into a period of shame and guilt. The outburst is a trap. It offers a temporary rush of control, but the resulting regret only deepens the original feelings of unworthiness, guaranteeing the cycle will repeat. That cycle wears different masks to hide a wound, as mapped here. Explosive anger is panic breaking out. Passive anger simmers quietly, avoiding confrontation. Displaced anger punishes bystanders, while self-directed or suppressed anger turns fire inward to consume the host. As internal pressure breaches the surface, the resulting explosion signals the shattering of internal containment. It is physical evidence of a total loss of control. These behaviors exist on a continuous sliding scale, ranging from loud physical aggression to quiet simmering hostility. We often justify our specific brand of anger as a matter of principle or passion, but every variation functions as an evasion tactic. No matter which mask is worn, the underlying skeleton is identical, a fear of exposure and irrelevance. When the rush of power evaporates, the environment it leaves behind is stagnant. Relationships are coated in a layer of psychological ash. There is a tragic irony here. The shouting and intimidation were meant to hide our weakness, but they actually broadcast our desperation more clearly than our silence ever could. Partners, children, and colleagues forced to endure these outbursts do not see authority in the rage, they see panic, and to survive it, they learn to shrink themselves. A person who relies on intimidation trades away genuine respect. What they receive in return is manufactured fear. By choosing the theater of anger over the reality of vulnerability, the insecure person guarantees their own isolation. They push away the exact connection they are afraid of losing, until love rots into resentment. It is easy to look at the wreckage in our own lives and label our temper as passion or high standards. But the facts remain. Anger is not a weapon wielded by the strong. It is the confession of the wounded. When the fire burns out, are you left with anything but the echo of a wound that wanted to hide, but confessed itself anyway? To continue exploring the hidden drivers behind our behavior, subscribe and join us for the next chapter of this psychological unmasking.